Callie, we spend years designing and planning for the amenity clubhouses and centers that we bring to life in communities. I mean, years and years. There's so much attention to detail goes into it. And you know what? There's nothing more frustrating sometimes when our clients are like, oh yeah, what are we doing for interior design? Right?
Yeah.
It's like, well, guess what? We're going to start with that, right? And so often it's a rush and not really thought out very well, right?
Completely agree. There's nothing more frustrating when we get to that point where we should be spending as much time on the interiors as we spent on the exteriors. And luckily, that's why we are so happy to join Paige Byrd to Smith Lane today. She is the owner and co-president of Teal Team, an architectural interior design and procurement firm specializing in hospitality and multifamily amenities. Welcome, Paige.
Thank you so much. I'm so thrilled to be here with you ladies.
Yes. And I hope in our intro, you were like, yes, sometimes people bring us into the process way too late.
Way too late.
100%.
Yes. Whenever we're working with our clients and we bring somebody in on the interior side, and I know y'all do more than just interior design, but we bring them in. They're like, thank you for bringing us in early enough that we can really get in there and we're not working against a crazy deadline.
Yes. Or working against things that can't be changed.
Yep.
It's
Absolutely.
too late in the process.
It's always amazing when you get the question, is it too early to bring you in? It is never too early to bring us in, ever.
Yes. Before we really dive into Teal Team and what you guys do, we have the craziest small world coincidence story to share with you, Paige. So I was on your website this morning just doing some last minute research, looking at projects you've completed. And I saw that you guys did the wine cellar at Ruby Hill Country Club. Yeah. I don't know when that project happened. I was raised in Ruby Hill Country Club in Pleasanton, California.
You're kidding me.
Yes. Go ahead.
And I lived there.
Yes.
In Ruby Hill.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Yes. And I was looking at the photos and I was like, I know exactly where this renovation happened. This is years and years ago at this point.
Yeah, years ago. And we've been to the club many times. And it was early on when it was first built.
Yes.
We used to have our pasta nights there that we loved.
Yes. And I think you guys had entered the picture after we had left. But just the craziest small world coincidence and it's not even in Texas or Florida where we do a lot of our work and you guys are based. It was in Pleasanton, California, of all places.
Yes.
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 That was an amazing project. And we had finished that back in 2016, 2017 is when we were out there working at Ruby Hill. And that wine cellar was an old laundry facility. It was completely back of house. And we created a new member entry experience. And it's funny because people are like, there's no way that was a laundry room. I'm like, oh, that was a laundry room. And it wasn't doing anything for anyone. And the members needed an elevated dining experience. That was a fantastic project.
So Callie and I were going over the floor plan in our heads this morning.
Yeah.
What space was used? So we wouldn't have seen the laundry room.
Yeah, I was thinking it was something else, but I'm so glad you told us that it was that. What a perfect example of what y'all do.
Yes.
And as we get into this. So I want to pass it over to you for a minute, Paige. Give us your background a little bit and all about Teal Team.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm an interior designer and have been working in hospitality and multifamily design for almost 20 years now, and joined Teal Team back in 2007. And whenever I joined, it was Teal and Teal. Beth and Kurt Teal were the founding owners of Teal and Teal, and their entire career was built around golf and country club design. So whenever I started working for them, I brought with me some experience in multifamily and some high-end luxury hospitality. And from there, it's really been an incredible experience because I never would have guessed how our firm would have evolved over this period of time and the growth that we've experienced. Now our firm, we're recognized nationally and award-winning for hospitality, interior design, multifamily interior design. We have grown. We're actually working on some MOB projects with a new fantastic client, and have really just continued to leverage our team's expertise and talents, acting as the architect of record for master planned communities. So we have a team of about 30 professionals, and that's everyone: architects, interior designers, procurement agents, and operations. And man, we get to do what we love every day. So we're pretty thankful and blessed I was actually telling someone this week, I'll go on a site visit and be looking at a golf club at the course and be like, I can't believe this is what we get to do. Right. Or like you're on site
Yeah.
looking at a skyline and I'm like, I cannot believe this is what I get to do every single day. But we work hard. We love what we do and have worked with our clients across the country. We're based here in Dallas, Fort Worth. But we get on airplanes and we go where we need to go based on where the need is with our clients. We specialize in amenities, which is fun. I know you guys do a lot of that too. That's kind of like the sizzle, right? The jewel box.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
It's where community starts.
We were
100%.
the more we were looking into your company, all of that, I was like, oh, we need to know each other. We do so much of what we do overlaps, and we have a lot of business growing in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, especially, and just in Texas in general. So I was excited for this conversation because I see a lot of overlap between our companies, and then I also made a point. So our company, we have kind of 3 sectors: on amenity, on Spire, on V, and they're kind of the different phases that a community goes through from raw land to residence, and we can help developers at any point there. I feel like there's a correlation on y'all's end where it's like the architectural part, the procurement part, the interior design part. It's probably your dream for a client to use all 3 of those services in one project. And that's kind of how we operate too on the lifestyle side.
Yes.
Do I have that right in how I'm thinking of that for your clients?
Yeah, we do. And that's always, you're right. That's the dream. But we also coordinate a lot as different consultants, depending on the project scope and the need. We like being able to have everything in-house just because coordination efforts are, easier. And of course, we want to be able to, our entire team, to work together on these projects. But we really work with our clients just based on project scope and their need and where we best align with that.
Yeah. Can you talk us through an example of a project right now that you would say is utilizing all of your services that y'all are excited about?
Oh my gosh. Well, we're working on one project that honestly has been in our office since 2009. And
oh, wow.
2009. Yeah, we've been working. It's the Baker Hotel and Spa, and it is the largest historic preservation project in Texas history. So we have this beautiful historic hotel, and fundraising for it has certainly taken a considerable amount of time. And we are acting as the architect of record, the interiors group. We're not to the point of, procurement discussions yet, but that project has been one that has been, a love story, if you will, for everyone that's involved. It's a passion project. It's hard. It's really tough working in a building that's 100 years old. Luckily the structure is amazing, and what we get to work with in terms of existing interior detailing doesn't exist very often in today's world. So being able to bring that back to life and make it relevant for the modern traveler is absolutely amazing.
So since 2009, is it functioning right now, or it's kind of just been in progress since then?
Yeah, no, the building has actually been closed for decades. It was an open, close kind of situation. And so, demo cleanup has been underway, and we are working, actively through CDs right now, kind of getting everything ready to go in for permit, and working with the GC on any sort of value engineering opportunities. So yeah, it's been an incredible passion project for our team, and an amazing project that will be an extension of the DFW Metroplex, and also incredibly impactful for the community of Mineral Wells.
Very exciting. I can imagine the amount y'all are having to learn on the historic preservation side, like probably edits and rewrites and back and forth of contracts. I just have to imagine it's probably different than any sort of like new build from that perspective.
Oh, yeah, it is. And, we have a team that a lot of our team members have worked on several preservation projects over the course of their careers. And as a company, we've done a few as well with the New York Parks Department. Those are some fun projects that we completed. But yeah, it's definitely different than new dev. It's funny whenever we get like to start from scratch and there are no questions, like we can control everything. We're like, okay, this is going to be super fun, super creative. We're going to be able to get through this really easily and don't have to worry about all the skeletons in the closet.
Oh my gosh. Yes, I can imagine.
So let's talk about bringing brands to life, because from looking at your website, it was very clear that, bringing community and the brand and all to life is very important to you. Can you walk through some of maybe an example or two where you guys have worked on an amenity that really kind of emulates the brand?
Yeah. especially, and it's so interesting now, and I'm sure you guys experience this, authenticity is so important now. It really doesn't matter, the location or the project. Consumers, residents, guests, they're really savvy when it comes to authenticity. We've had the privilege of working with a lot of universities. So recently have just wrapped up the Baylor Club down in Waco, Texas. And so those are always heavy branding projects, right? So you're working with the university, you're figuring out every single way to leverage who they are, what they stand for. And those projects are always really, really fun to work on. So we've done the Baylor Club. We also worked at Texas Tech at their stadium club, Virginia Tech. But that storytelling component that now is just kind of seen across the board that has really been inspired by hospitality design as part of how we start our process and collaborations with our clients. Tower Club is another really good example of that in Dallas. We worked with the operator, the owner, their marketing team, just to make sure every detail from the finishes to the art installations really supported, how they named the restaurants, where we were getting the materials. They're really cool opportunities. And as people are touring the space, there's a story to tell. And it's really important, I think, for a strong sense of place. And like I said, that storytelling aspect.
Mm-hmm. Yes, girl, we are aligned. Our companies
Yes.
are we're thinking the same things. Another example that I saw that I would love to hear about from your perspective is the Cowboys Golf Club that you guys got to do. I saw that was a big project for you guys in 2025. Am I right?
Yeah, well, we have been working at Cowboys for years and years and years. And, we'll get through one round and that ownership group is very progressive in their thinking, and they're always looking at ways to improve and how to bring in more people, make golf more approachable. And they actually just finished up an incredible 18-hole putting course that has adjacency to the clubhouse that was done by PopStroke. And so figuring out how to amenitize, all the available square footage and then how that speaks to the interiors. We're working with them right now on what that next phase is going to look like for the future of the clubhouse, and have done along the way the Ring of Honor bar, which is really great, and opportunities to bring in graphics and a lot of memorabilia.
Yes.
And I'm incredibly excited to see the evolution of that club and what's to come for them.
Yeah, talk about a brand that you're
Yes.
a strong brand that you're working
Yeah.
with. Of course I watch all the Cowboys documentaries that they put on Netflix. So when you're saying like their team is really forward facing and like progressive, there's data to back that up. I can imagine the projects y'all get to work on are really exciting from that aspect.
Yeah. Awesome. Let's talk about, there's I think a tagline maybe on your website. It's architecture from the inside out. And, for us, we look at lifestyle from the inside out, right? So everything for us begins with lifestyle and how the community is going to experience what we're doing. So it just sounds, we were very intrigued when this is architecture from the inside out. Can you explain that a little bit for us?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's been our approach, I think, because from the inception of our company, a lot of our projects have been transformational renovations, right? And there's so much, operationally that might need to be corrected. And we really focus on, okay, the exterior really, and when we're talking about any sort of expansion or new development, it can be or look like anything. But if the inside doesn't work for the operator, if it doesn't leverage all of the property's assets and give that really strong experience to the end user, it's really, there's just so much that's left to be desired. And so when we're thinking about that and we're going through our programming, we're talking about what, not now, but 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, what is the interior? How is the interior informing the architecture? How does the space plan? How does the program? And then how does that branding component combine all of those things? And so that's one thing that we're very passionate about, is making sure that, one, anything that we design is going to work, right? And it's going to be, because when the ops team isn't sweating, you're like, when everything is easy for them, that experience is felt by the people that the project is built for. And so we really try hard in all of our questioning and all of our scope analysis to make sure that that's where our focus is from the very beginning.
We would love working with you from that aspect, because what it looks like for us is when we get a new project in a master plan community, the first thing we do is we survey the area, we figure out who's going to buy there, who's going to want to live there, and then we build a lifestyle plan first. What are the activities that people that live here are going to want to do? You know, is it a large percent of people going to be 55 and better? Do we need to gear towards that? Are there going to be a lot of young children? So based on that, we figure out the activities in the lifestyle plan, and then that can inform the spaces we need.
Absolutely.
So, yes. And Monica's famous question is always like, well, where's the Christmas tree going to go? Right. You know, and oftentimes the person who is architecting the space, like they're not thinking about that like we are all the time. Or where is the furniture going to be moved so that we can make sure that music bingo is happening at X time? Things of that nature. So I think we have similar thought processes on how like the space is going to be used and what it's intended for, so that there is nothing left to be desired when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah. And now, we're thinking through what are the Instagrammable moments, right? Like where with so many people on social media and really being able to have something that's unique to your identity. What is that? Like, what does it mean? What's the view? All of those things now are becoming really common conversations.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I think because amenities are we're recognizing them as a sales tool today.
Yes.
And in the past, they were extra things on your budget, right? And now we really see that from a developer standpoint, that they can actually be a sales tool.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's like a non-negotiable now. Mm-hmm. People are like, well, what are the amenities? I'll just go to the next community down the road if this one doesn't have a fitness center and I know I want a fitness center.
Right.
Yeah. Figuring out how to leverage that square footage. So it doesn't matter what time of day it is. There is something there that is drawing people in. Because I know we've all been to properties where you have a beautiful space, but no one's using it, right? It's pretty. It looks nice, but it doesn't have any sort of really strong program that is encouraging community, encouraging people to gather, whether it's 10 a.m., 12 p.m., 5 p.m., or 10 p.m. So getting really creative and figuring out how to do that, whether it's, working in the day, wine lounge, or some sort of social lounge at night, is something that we make sure like there's going to be energy here. People are going to want to hang out.
Yes.
So important. That just reminded me, I won't name the place, but we just entered into a new community where a building was already created and built, and no one had thought that there's no sink built in there. There's not enough outlets built in there. There's not enough just general things we need in order to create liveliness within one of the amenity spaces, right? We want it to be used by residents. We want things to be going on. We want mahjong to be played, and we want the chess group to meet. And when there aren't the basic necessities of what's needed to make those things happen, sometimes it creates a dead space, which is the opposite of what we ever want in one of these amenities that we're working out of.
Yeah. And we believe you have to teach people how to use space as well, right? So you put this beautiful amenity in, and from a programming standpoint, what are we doing to actually get them there passively, right? Like we got to activate it in the beginning and then get them used to coming to the space and making it feel like it's their third place, right? And coming in and on their own.
Yes.
So really teaching people how to use space. And it really, from fitness centers, that's a big deal, because fitness centers can be so intimidating. If the equipment is hard to use, that type of thing. So
yeah,
that's one of those.
Well, speaking of fitness centers, that's a really hot topic for us right now, Paige. I don't know if you guys ever get into helping design any of those types of spaces, but every client we speak to right now, it's like the battle of, do we put a fitness center in our amenity or do we not? And our standpoint as a company is, yes, it's a sales tool. You're selling the vision. You're selling the dream of living somewhere, the aspiration of living somewhere that you can be active and get healthier and do all of that. So we were curious to hear your thought on that. And then if you guys do any special things in terms of the interiors of a fitness space.
Well, I'm about to geek out over this because it is... I did a webinar a few months ago, and it was like the number one amenity, like health and wellness, health and wellness, health and wellness. And you guys work, in different states, so you see it too. But I've had so many conversations with my team. what I love about how the health and wellness, like amenity evolution, is that there are so many different opportunities, right?
Mhm.
And, if you're working in a master plan community or in a multifamily community, you're not going to have the square footage per se to compete with a big box gym, right?
Right.
But what you do have is the opportunity to make it so unique and authentic to the property, to the location. And what is health and wellness? It can mean so many things. We, with the pickleball component, with having a place where, there are bike trails. So you really are making sure you have bike storage and you have a bike fix shop. And then you have your indoor outdoor fitness lawns. So, you can have kind of that softer, more wellness, like meditation lawn. And we're actually starting to program, which I love, the spa programming. We're putting in the dry saunas, the cold lockers, the red light therapy. Because who doesn't want that at their
Right.
fingertips, right? Like, you
Right.
might want to keep
Yes.
Right.
your gym membership, but if it supports the lifestyle, it's not just about getting on a treadmill. It's not just about going to lift weights. I want a quiet place. If I want to go sit in a quiet lounge, if I've had a hard workout or if I've just had a hard day and I want to sit in a sauna and then have that contrast therapy that it's available to me, those things are what we're seeing now with some of our developers and investors that are more progressive thinking. They're really investing in that. And we've been able to create and are working on right now in design development some really unique health and wellness programming that I think is going to be a differentiator.
Yeah, we have had a really difficult time getting a lot of our clients to buy into this contrast therapy on, cold plunge or dry sauna. And so I love hearing you say this because we have been saying this is the way we need to go with our health and wellness amenities, especially. So I love hearing you say this because I think that it's hard sometimes because you're from a developer standpoint, you're putting a lot of money into a project and maybe you don't want to lead, you don't want to be the first one to do something, but sometimes those are the people who win the biggest,
Yeah.
right? So people want this. I mean, they're paying for those, the red light therapy, off site somewhere and that type of thing. And like, if we could bring this to them and their community, it would be amazing.
Yeah, for sure. I want to live somewhere with a cold plunge and red light
I do
therapy.
too.
Me
I do
too.
too.
Me too. Yeah. And
Yeah.
and
Or,
to your point too, like walking into a gym can be intimidating for some people.
mhm,
Yes.
mhm.
Yes.
And so kind of being able to carve out some of those personalized vignettes where you have a virtual trainer, like with a fitness mirror, that kind of makes it more approachable, I guess, approachable for, I don't want everyone to see me getting back in shape or trying to get in
Yeah,
shape, if it's a
right.
personal goal. Because I don't like to work out in front of a ton of people.
Me either. Me either. But we're telling our clients like, let's go all in with fitness, right? You provide a pickleball or a tennis pro. Why are we not providing a fitness pro, right? Why are we not doing that? Where, so to help people, right? To get some liveliness in the fitness center, and it can actually be a moneymaker for in a long-term situation, right? In the beginning, it's kind of you got to wait until it scales with residents moving in, but residents will pay for personal training, but we've got to be
Absolutely.
able to have it there and accessible. And those are the things we've kind of been scared of, especially in the master plan community industry. And I think it's changing. We're certainly trying to change it to say there's
Yeah.
a different way.
Mm-hmm.
And it
Yeah.
becomes this social unit. Like a lot of times people want to go to, I can't think off the top of my head, one of the
Like a boutique fitness place?
fitness place, right? They want to go to one of those because they become friends with people, right? They want to continue going. And it becomes this social scene for you.
Soul Cycle,
Soul Cycle, right? All of
Core
that.
Power.
Yes,
All
keep
of those.
going. You know
Yes.
them all. But why can't we have that in our community, right? And get those people connected in our own community. So that Sue or Joe or whoever is going to be at the gym at that time, and you're going to go and hang out, and it's going to be, yes, you're going to get your workout in, but you're also going to have a little social time with your neighbors.
Yeah.
Mm.
We just have to teach them and program them
Mhm.
to be accustomed to that. Okay. I know y'all are, I love this part of your website too, Paige. Y'all call yourselves budget ambassadors. that is so much easier said than done, right? Like so many times we go into a project and we agree on a budget, and there are always things that come up that are like, well, we could add this for X, and it just kind of happens before you don't even realize it's happening. How do you guys talk about being budget ambassadors on your side internally on your team?
Well, those conversations we really try to have up front with our client. Like transparency is key, right? It's hard to hit a target with a blindfold on. And if we can have the conversations in the beginning, we're set up for success, and it saves everyone time and money, right? We're not having to do any sort of VE exercises. And, similar to how you guys do it, just talking with your clients about what are your priorities. Like if we're looking at success criteria for this project, what's going to be the biggest win for you? Because that's where we need to really focus. And then we can figure out what's secondary and then what's not necessary. And just really working it through in those terms. And we start the budgeting exercise early. Typically, we know once we have a schematic design approved, we're already looking at what's our FF&E budget going to be? What are we going to need for artwork? And then that way we can start having the conversations early on, okay, we're over here, but this is the solution to the problem. And just communicating the trade-offs, right? Like those are conversations that if they're had up front, communicating the trade-off, and everybody coming together. And we found that that's been a really key to our success to make sure that we're aligned with our clients and what their goals are. And even though, every project has a budget, right? You can still get a fantastic result while you're working within a budget. And that's our goal. Always.
I love it. Love it. Another thing I wanted to make sure we talk about, and I pointed out with you, is that y'all's team culture and just overall like togetherness really shines through on your Instagram and your website. I saw they call each other teal mates instead of teammates.
That's adorable.
Yes. So I know we value that a lot at On Place Collective, and it's evident that shines through too for you guys. And so wanted to highlight that. And I know being the leader of a team, it's a lot of work that goes into building a strong culture. And it takes a lot of effort from everybody doing their part to make the whole thing run. So just wanted to make sure I pointed that out for you guys.
Yeah. Did you see the big smile on my face when you mentioned my team?
Yes.
Yes.
I am partial. I know I'm partial, but I will tell anybody I get to work with the best people I've ever met every single day. And we care about each other. We're friends. We're professionals. We're here to do a job. And I think, that's something that my partner and I, since we really took over the reins, have been passionate about from day one, is creating a culture and a team of people. And one of the things we say to each other is, it's not about you. It's not about me, right? It's about what we do collectively. And we leverage our strengths and our unique abilities. And, to be a leader at Teal Team means that you're a servant leader. And you're there. If you're on top, guess what? Really, you're on bottom. Because you're there to make sure that everyone else has what they need in order to be successful and to pour into them. And that's felt. I mean, our people feel that. And I think we've all probably had somebody in our lives that has just been a fantastic mentor that you'll remember for your entire life. And I feel like everyone in our team is pouring into one another, that we're going to have mentors that we remember for our entire lives, because we really work with one another. We share our experiences and our expertise and our hearts, frankly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely agree. And I think that goes so far in the industry that we're all in. I came from out of industry before I worked for Monaca, and I came from like tech sales and recruiting, and it's just not the same.
Heart.
There's it's not the same like vibe and relationship and like there's like a love of land in what we do, right? Like back down in your roots and community. Right. And so I think what you're talking about in terms of culture and what we try to do at On Place Collective, it goes really far with our clients in terms of relationship building, and our clients in the development world, they see that Paige really cares about her team and that they put effort into that. And it goes far. That's something it's just a big difference in this industry that I think is important.
Yeah, I agree. So Paige, we have come to our last question, and that is all around the name of the show or the podcast here, which is Smith Lane. So that is a little dirt road I grew up on in Alabama. where I learned everything I know today about community, and I try to sprinkle a little bit of Smith Lane into every community we have the honor of working with. And so we ask every guest, what is your Smith Lane?
It's funny because I've been thinking about this, and mine is my first real cheer team. And I know that might sound...
I love this answer, Paige. I love this answer.
And it's for so many reasons. And it took me becoming an adult to understand everything that was instilled in me through that experience. My coach was tough, but she loved us. I'll get emotional talking about this, but like she pushed us. And we, through, being pushed and being taught, take the initiative, invest in each other. We had a team of people that cared, and it's the same thing like with my team. And I think that that's where a lot of my leadership strategy comes from, because we're all good at so many different things. And when we can come together, on a cheer team, it's like, this person is a fantastic tumbler, this person is a flyer, this person is a bass. And when all of those skills come together, and you're all working towards a common goal and supporting each other and the spirit of positivity, it's magic. And I have some of my fondest memories of my life that were built there. But, just the value of hard work and working as a team. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's not about anyone else. That has really shaped me. And now I'm a mom of an all-star competitive cheerleader, and I get to see that in her and her team, and I'm a coach of a little sideline cheer team, and see their smiles and their faces and how we work hard together. Not really anything, for us, but to cheer on a team of boys, if that's what we're there to do, and they've worked hard. And I think that that's my Smith Lane. And it might seem kind of silly to some.
No,
it's not. You're talking to a competitive dancer her whole life, so I get it. The sense of community that you can build, and
with any sport,
any
sport.
This is relatable to any sport or group or
And what I love about it, Paige, is that you're taking that experience and you're paying it forward, not only with your daughter's team and the sideline cheer team, but also your work, right? Yeah. Like you're sprinkling that into what you do every day, which is, it's nice when something as, core as your cheer team built you, right? Like there's this core piece that built you, and you're carrying it through with your life and impacting others, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah. I love it. Great answer. That one's going to stick with me.
Yes.
Well, thank you. I remember, preparing as a kid for nationals, and we were in the gym and we worked hard, and being proud of what you can do, when you put in that hard work. It's the same thing as a project install. Like your team has worked so hard, and so many hands have been involved. And there is nothing better than the high you get when you have fluffed the last pillow and taken the last picture and place the last pencil cup on the desk. And then you can look around and think, man, I've been working on this with my team for 3 years, and I could not be more proud of what we've done together. That is so powerful, and is one reason I don't know that I'll ever retire. It fuels the soul of any creative and anybody that really values, I think, teamwork and doing big things, for other people.
Yeah.
I love it.
Love it.
Well, we'll have to meet you in person the next time we're in Dallas.
Yes, we need lunch.
Yeah, we need lunch.
Love that.
I think there's lots of opportunity for us, and we're so happy that you were able to join us and be a guest on Smith Lane. And we'll see you next time, Paige. Maybe there will be a next time.
Yes.
I would love that. Yeah, I'm available whenever you need me. We can just continue the conversation.
Awesome.
I love it. All right. Bye.
Bye.